So ng style directive allows us to set CSS style properties like for example, if you want to apply any background color or border style or any padding, okay, so we can apply from controller. Okay, we can bind the value from controller to the CSS styles also. So in AngularJS we can use ng style directive. Okay, so but in CSS we have style attribute, but in AngularJS we have ng style directive to bind the CSS properties from the controller. Okay, so ng style directive internally applies CSS style attribute to the HTML element. So ng style directive allows you to set CSS style and HTML element. So for example, in contact us page, okay, so we have one, we can take one text box, type equal to text and placeholder equal to first name. Okay, so for example, if you want to apply border color, okay, border color and border style for text box, okay, from controller, so we can bind the value from the controller by using ng style directive. Okay, so here is the syntax. Okay, first of all, double quotes. In double quotes we can use flower bracket. Okay, within flower bracket single quote. Okay, we can use single quotes and CSS property background color, and this is the scope variable to bind the value from the controller. Okay, to bind the value from the controller for this background color. Background color. Okay, and this is the value. Okay, bg color. So this is the variable, so we can bind this variable in controller. So here is myapp.js, okay, for contact controller. Okay, so this is our configuration. So when you click on contact us form, it will display the contact us template, and we have separate controller for contact us.html form. So within contact us.html contact controller, so we can use scope.bg color. Okay, in bg color is the variable. Okay, bg color, and we can now apply CSS background color. Okay, HTML color code. HTML color codes like background color. Okay, so background color is blue color. Okay, so you can copy this and remove. Hash color code. So now it will apply the background color for text box. Okay, so run this example. So this is the starting page, okay, for our application. So must and should we have to run the application from index.html form only. Okay, so click on contact us. Okay, contact us form is displayed. Okay, the template is displayed, and in contact us template we have first name text box, and we apply the style, okay, background color from controller, okay, blue color, okay, and text color. So text color is black, okay, by default. So we can apply text color is white. Okay, text color. Equal to hash triple F. So now, okay, so text color is white. So like this we can apply CSS values from controller. Okay, beige color and padding for the div. Okay, and padding and margin. So like this we can apply CSS values from controller to the HTML elements. Okay, and then after that ng show directive. So ng show directive nothing but uh, like hide and show methods in jQuery. Okay, hide and show methods in jQuery. The ng show directive. So in AngularJS we have to use ng show directive to show or hide the HTML elements. Okay, in jQuery we have hide and show methods to hide the elements and to show the elements. But in AngularJS we have ng show directive to show or hide the given HTML elements based on the expression provided to the ng show attribute. The expression means true or false. ng show directive equal to true or false, so that we can show or hide the HTML elements. So this is the part in sample code. So this is the part. Okay, paragraph. Within paragraph we have first name text box and last name text box. Okay, so in this example we use ng show directive equal to my value. So this is the scope variable, and the scope variable bind from controller. Okay, person controller is there. Okay, so my value equal to true. Okay, so true value equal to here ng show equal to now true, so that this paragraph will display the elements. If you change the value my value equal to false, so that ng show equal to false. Okay, if ng show directive equal to false, it will hide the elements. Okay, if ng show directive is equal to true, it will show the elements. So for example, in products.html, okay, same paragraph, and within paragraph we can display some uh, products. Okay, like LG, okay, Samsung, okay. Okay, so here we are showing the products, okay, LG, Samsung, and Microsoft. So if you want to hide these products, okay, so we can use ng show directive and equal to my flag, okay. The flag is true or false, okay. So we can bind this value from controller, products controller. Scope dot my flag equal to true, okay, so that these products are displayed, okay. Products are displayed. Refresh this and products, okay. So LG, Samsung, and Microsoft, these products are displaying. So if you want to hide these products, okay, just you can change the value to false, okay. So here ng show equal to false, the value is ng show equal to false, so that products are not displaying. Ng show my flag, okay. So here you can use one button to hide show the paragraph. Input type equal to button and value equal to hide or show, and ng click equal to my function. So when you click on this button, it will change the value my flag scope dot my function equal to function and the scope dot my flag equal to not equal to scope dot my flag, okay. So that reverse value, if my flag equal to false, then it will apply the true, okay. My flag is equal to true, then it will apply false, okay. So here not value, so the reverse value. So when you click on hide and show button. So the paragraph is hide and click on again, and these products are displaying. So like this we can hide and show the elements. Okay, so this is the variable, scope variable, and this variable binding from controller. Okay, so the first flag is false, so that when you load the page, okay, products are not displaying because my flag is equal to false. When you click on button, okay, the value is changed to true. Okay, the reverse value of previous value. Okay, so this is the ng show directive, and ng hide directive also same like ng show directive. Okay, so this is the opposite for ng show directive. Okay, the ng hide directive shows or hides the given HTML elements based on the expression provided to the ng hide attribute. Okay, so this is opposite ng hide directive opposite to the ng show directive. So next, ng href directive. So ng href directive. ng href directive is nothing but a href attribute. Okay, so dynamically bind the URL from the controller. We need to use ng href directive. Okay, so normal href directive. Okay, we cannot bind the value to the normal href attribute. Okay, so that in AngularJS we can use ng href directive to dynamically bind the URL. Okay, dynamically create a URL from the property in scope, the ng href instead of href. So for example, in products page, okay, in products page we can use anchor tags. Okay, so anchor tags and href equal to, so for example we can provide the LG website. Okay, lg.com. Okay, so dynamically to bind the URL, okay, this URL from the database, we can use ng href directive. So this is the value ng URL. And here, yeah, ng href equal to sm URL, Samsung URL, ng href equal to Microsoft URL. So we can bind this URL from controller. So that the URL www.lg.com and scope dot sm URL and Microsoft URL. And next one, scope dot murl equal to dot okay. So here target element, okay, to open in new tab, target equal to blank. So now save this and run this example. So go to products and show and click on LG. Okay, the app URL is not binding. So once check this, go to inspect LG URL. So the URL is not binded. Okay, LG.com. LG and the Samsung. And next to Microsoft. Okay, and now refresh this. Okay, URL is not binding. Target blank and href directive. Okay, so now it's working. Okay, so check this. Okay, anchor tag nghref equal to http://lg.com/in and target blank and href attribute also added. Okay, AngularJS internally added the href attribute. Okay, href attribute to open the link in new window, and LG also same. Okay, and Microsoft. Okay, so like this we can bind the URLs from the controller. Okay, then we can need to bind the URL from the controller or from the database. Okay, this value coming from the, okay, in real-time examples, in real-time applications, this URLs coming from database. And ng source directive. Ng source directive also same, okay, to bind the image paths. Okay, so for example, if you want to display the profile picture, okay, so profile pictures are different for each and every person. Okay, to bind the uh, image dynamically, we can use ng source, ng src directive, use it to prevent the browser from loading the resource before the handlebars get parsed. Okay, so for example, here we can take one image and do ng src directive and equal to, okay, my image. Okay, so I will send the routing example. Source and alt profile pic and height 300 pixels and width 300 pixels. Okay, so profile picture should be in image folder. Okay, image folder. So add one image folder, images, and copy one image into this folder. Okay, so pingage.jpg. Okay, so this is our, for example, this is our profile picture. Okay, to bind this image path, okay, dynamically, scope dot my image, equal to, okay, the image path. Okay, okay, pingage.jpg. So now run this example. So index.html form is the root page, the root path. Okay, fail to load resource. Okay, pingage.jpg. My image, my image. Yeah, pingage.jpg. Okay, so actually we have the image in image folder, right? So image folder and penguins.jpg. Okay, so now image is displaying. Okay, so but image folder is in html and a slash. Okay, so this is the path image folder and this is the image. This image name, okay, we will dynamically bind from the database. Okay, only this image name will bind from the database. Okay, so like this you can bind the image from the controller or from the database. Next, these directories are not important. And next, ng read only directive. ng read only directive to enable the read only for the html elements. Okay, for example, if you want to upload the read only for our text boxes. Okay, so ng read only directive allows you to upload the read only for your text boxes. The AngularJS read-only directive is used to make DOM elements read-only. Okay, the user cannot change the values in the text boxes. Okay, if you apply the read-only property to the text boxes, so it traverses the all DOM elements with the read-only property and makes the element read-only. Okay, so here we have text box, input type button. Okay, in contact us form. Okay, we have this text box. Okay, to apply read only for this text box, we can use ng read only and value. Okay, we can bind the value. Here we can use my read flag. Okay, my read flag. So this value bind from contact as controller. Okay, contact controller. Okay, for each and every template we have separate controllers, so that we are writing the code in separate controllers. Equal to read only true, so that user cannot change the value in text box. Okay, contact us form. Okay, so user cannot change the value, cannot type any text in text box. And if you apply false, the user can enter the input. Okay, the cursor is blinking and user can type anything, any text in text box. Okay, if you apply flag true, the user cannot enter any text in the text boxes. And next, ng is selected. ng selected directive is used to uh, uh, get the selected value from the drop-down list. The AngularJS ng selected directive is used to make select option in select. Okay, so for example, in HTML we have select element to implement the drop-downs. Okay, drop-down list. So for example, you want to display the selected value. Okay, selected value or by default selected value. Okay, so in AngularJS we can use ng selected directive to apply the by default selected value or to get the selected value from the drop down list. So this is the example, and you can copy this drop down list. Okay, in contact us Okay, in conductors status drop down list, for example status, okay, active and busy, okay, available, busy, ideal and offline. So we can bind this from contact controller. Okay, so this is the variable, scope variable my status. Okay, bind to this my status, and this is the values. Okay, drop down list options. Okay, id and name, id and name. So this is the id value, selected id value and selected name. Okay, in the drop down list this is selected id and selected name. So for each and every value we have separate id and name for the drop down list. And this is the statement to bind, to show the selected value in the drop down list. Okay, default selected value. Make selected is the variable. Okay, make selected, and ng model directory equal to make selected variable. Okay, to select the by default selected value, and scope dot my status of 2 dot id. Okay, so the busy is default selected value in the drop down list. Okay, this is object type variable, right? So that from this object type variable we used index. Okay, this is the second index and dot id, this is the id. So now refresh this. Okay, so drop down list is added in contactors form, and busy is by default selected value in the drop down list. Okay, we have available, busy, ideal and offline. Okay, but default selected value is busy. So because of we return the statement for selected value, so that is ng selected. Okay, so to bind the values to the drop down list from the controller, okay, must and should we have to, okay, we have to write the code like this. Okay, ng options. Okay, for example in html we can use select. Okay, select element and option, right? Okay, so like this option we have ng options directory to bind the, to apply the items to the drop down list. Okay, state.id as state.name. Okay, so it will bind the id and name. Okay, the name is displayed and id is in backend, and first stat in my status. My status contains all the statuses. Okay, available, busy and ideal, offline, and by one bind to this select element, and this ng model directive supply selector value, make selector value, so that it will show the default selector value. So if you use here 4, okay, offline will display by default. Okay, offline. Okay, so this is the ng selector directive, and these are all like events in JavaScript. Okay, on mouse down, on mouse up. Okay, like that. And next ng copy, ng paste, ng cut directives. So this ng copy, paste and cut directives allows us to specify the custom behavior on any HTML element. Okay, so if you copy the content from any paragraph, okay, it's execute the ng copy directive. If you paste the content in any text box. Okay, it will ng paste directive is applied. If you cut any content from any text box, it will execute this ng cut directive. Okay, so in this example we have text area. In this text area we used ng copy directive and ng cut directive, ng paste directive. Okay, if you copy the content in this text area, this copy method is executed, and if you cut the content in text area, this cut method is executed, and if you paste any content into this text area, this paste method is executed. Okay, just copy this and paste here, and in contact us, okay, copy this code. Okay, scope dot target equal to prasad. So for example, you can copy this content. Okay, so we have the content. This is the content in text area, and this is the message. Okay, message copied and message paste and message cut. It will show the, so when you copy the content in target, okay, target means in the text box. Okay, so ng model directive binds this target to this text area. Okay, this content, and when you copy the, when you press the Ctrl C in keyboard, this method is executed and display some message copied, and when you press the Ctrl X Ctrl V, and this method is executed and display message paste, and when you press Ctrl X, this method is executed, this function is executed and display this message. Okay, so this is the content in text area. Okay, so for example, Ctrl A, Ctrl C, message. So there is no message. Okay, copy this paragraph. Okay, it will display the message. Okay, so here message displaying, message copied, and Control X. Okay, message cut and paste here, Control V. Okay, message paste. Okay, so like this it will execute the methods. Okay, copy, paste and cut. So this ng transfer is little bit difficult. I will explain this after two classes. Okay, actually this is not the order, and services and factories and filters. Okay,